Hey guys, Kieran here coming to you live for this week's message here, where I want to talk about how to move from a transactional based mindset to an exponential leveraged based mindset. And let me define those terms, what that means, right? So if you're a real estate agent, even if you're not, a lot of us tend to be trapped in a way of thinking, a way of viewing business, a way of viewing deals, and it's very deal centric, right? It's very transactional by nature. We initiate and originate a deal, we work to close the deal, we move on, right? Simple. But what we don't often do is kind of look beyond that and challenge ourselves to think a little bit differently about the business of real estate, about personal finance, about planning for the future, and about really creating wealth, creating passive income that creates wealth over time, using the time value of money, which I'll talk about in a second. So on the other side of this is an exponential leverage-based mindset. And what that means is, one that I've been working to develop for the last several years, is looking at real estate as a means to an end, looking at deals as a stepping stone, looking at being an agent, which should be our focus, right, if we're a real estate agent, but looking at it as one part of the puzzle, one piece of the pie. That's where we create our income, right? A lot of our disposable income. When we really scale and build our brand, we start to have more and more disposable income that we can use to invest in other assets and things. I'm a big fan of looking at real estate, what's close to us, what we know, we understand the markets, we can find and locate and source deals off market, oftentimes come across things before the general public does, is why not invest our hard-earned money into real estate, in the thing that we know a lot about. We have familiarity, we have lower risk, we have better opportunity, versus just turning it over blindly to a financial planner or investing in a mutual fund or stocks or other what I call paper assets, right? So when we start to look at it differently about wanting to build some passive income streams over time, so that we don't have to be trading time for money for the rest of our career. We don't have to be working 50, 60 plus hour weeks as a broker in a transactional mindset when we're 50, right, or 60. So in order to switch the mindset, we have to do a couple of things. What I've noticed and realized is we have to start looking at real estate from the lens of a principal, an investor, an owner, much like a principal client that we serve and work for. So instead of just being an agent servicing the needs and the desires and the aspirations of our client, we want to start serving the needs and aspirations of ourselves too. So to do that, we need to start thinking like an investor. What does that mean? That means, and this is a whole body of knowledge, right? So I'm going to just touch on a couple of high points here. Investing in the education, the knowledge base, the skill set to evaluate deals and markets, to capitalize and fund these acquisitions, to structure partnership agreements, to manage a property, right? We have to learn the skills and the knowledge around it, okay? Then we need to start thinking a little bit bigger and differently, challenging ourselves to look beyond, again, the next deal. Why don't we take some of our commission money from the last couple of closings and invest it as a down payment in a duplex or a 4-unit apartment complex? Bring in a property manager or a management company when you get up to several different units, and then start to create and establish a passive income stream. It's not tied to your labor, your time putting into the business. This I've been able to do through hospitality properties, apartment complexes, and multifamily, and some other sectors or property types of real estate to great success, because now I actually make more in those businesses, largely passively, some management and time spent obviously, but far more passive than, let's say, being a real estate broker. I make a lot more in those than I do as an agent and broker. So when we start to shift that thinking, we can start to open up and create new avenues of income, of wealth, and of freedom of time. That's the biggest thing, right? For me at least, I work really hard to create more independence, more freedom, more options to travel and engage in the projects I want and do the things I want to do with the people I want to do them with when I want to do them. So in order to do that, I can't be tied to a location or a transaction always. I need to find other ways to think differently, to think exponentially, and to do that through the concept of leverage. Leveraging my money, other people's money, meaning the banks, leveraging my skill set and knowledge in investing and in real estate investing, and putting all this together to start to become a sophisticated investor. And that's what I've done. I love being able to think this way, being able to grow income this way and wealth and create freedom this way. And I want to help other people do the same. So hopefully this inspired you in some way to think a little bit differently about mindset, about the transactional mindset that a lot of real estate agents have, and maybe think about moving more toward a transformational one. You know, moving more towards being a little bit more exponential in our thinking, right? Doing more with less. You know, using the concept of leverage, of capital, knowledge, time, access to deals to create more income and wealth, because that's what good, astute real estate investors do. So if you found some value here, again, top level, we're touching on these things. Let me know, drop me a comment, share this with somebody who could benefit from it. And again, as always, to your success, your happiness, and your freedom. We'll talk to you next week.